gentlemen, welcome to the finale of our three-part series. For the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about how attackers have been more underwhelming than a 21 Savage feature. We talked about wingers being bad, strikers being bad, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the finale. And everybody knows the third installment of every series is always the best. What, you thought I was using that clip ironically? No, Spider-Man 3 is a damn classic. Now, like I say to all my ladies, please join me in my bedroom for the next 10 minutes. 6 minutes. I'll give you a good 2 minutes. Bruhs, it is your boy, the Streets Champ. Toby World, party time, excellent. And let's get on to the video. Now, despite the fact that for the last 2 weeks, I have been harsher to attackers than Michael Jackson's dad was to him anytime he couldn't perfectly hit a note, I made it a note at the end of both videos that there is a reason as to why attacking output has taken a massive dip. And in today's video, we're gonna explain exactly why. We are in the most stubborn era in football when it comes to defense. And it is because of 3 tactics. Number 1 is the low block. This is when teams get all of their players and their reserves and even their team mascot in the penalty area, defending for their lives, making sure that the opposition can't create a chance. It's like seeing a fine girl in public and you want to go up and talk to her, but you can't because she's got like 5 friends surrounding her, so you can't really make a move. Number 2 is the mid block. This is when teams defend centrally, so you can't really create any chances or even move too much in the middle of the pitch. This is like when you want to talk to a girl, but she's got a big homie that's built like the Big Show, and she's preventing you from talking to her. And number 3 is the high press. It's when teams are aggressively trying to win the ball in the opposition's own half. It's like complaining to your girl about how you went through her phone and caught her cheating on you, but she goes on the offense and confronts you about how you're toxic for not trusting her. Yeah, if it's not obvious already, I am going through some lady problems right now. Now, because of these tactics, football matches this season have been tighter than a nun's coochie. Now look, y'all, I was a terrible science student, but one thing I will always remember is the solid, liquid, and gas particles. Now, guys, don't worry. I'm not going to turn into Bill Nye the Science Guy, okay? But I want to show you how these diagrams kind of resemble how football as a whole has evolved. You see, the gas particles resembles football throughout the 60s and the 80s. Definitely more spaced out and more room for individuality among players. Then we had the liquid, which is still a bit more compact, but it kind of reminds me of the 2000s with more focus on defense, but players could still express themselves. But now football matches are like the solid particle. Tight, compact. You can't find space anywhere on a football pitch. This is why attacking football has been so bad this season. Wingers don't have enough space to dribble or create chances or even score. More creative players like cams or 10s don't have the time or space to create chances. And if there's no chances being created, then strikers can't score. So if football matches are like this now, then how the do you succeed? So we're aware that football matches nowadays are like the equivalent of playing against a person using 4-5-1 in Ultimate Team, right? But how do you beat this? Well, my friend, you are going to need certain qualities amongst pretty much all of your 11 players. Number 1 is that your team is going to have to be pretty physical. That's right, your entire starting 11 needs to look like the Vision. Then you're gonna need players with a lot of energy that can press. Yeah, your players are gonna need a second lung. And the third quality, there's 2 lungs. What? There's 2 lungs. Why would you need I told y'all I'm not a good science student. And the final quality, your players are going to have to be very good at set pieces. Now, if you're sat there watching this video and thinking, wait, these qualities, they sound so familiar. Well, Brez, there's a massive reason for that. Because if you go to a mirror at 3 a.m. and you say into it, physicality, high press, and set pieces, then Mikel Arteta will appear behind you with a light bulb in his hand. There is a reason why Arsenal are currently number 1 in every competition and they're still a part of every domestic cup, because they've cracked the code. Arteta is aware that other teams are playing low blocks, mid blocks, and doing the high press, so guess what? He makes his team do it too. This is why his side takes advantage of set pieces, because he realizes that this is the only way you can penetrate these 150 blocks. But despite Arsenal's dominance, none of their attackers are actually putting up amazing numbers. Saka's numbers are average. Madueke's numbers are average. The only numbers Gyökeres cares about is 2 number 9s and a number 9 large. Their top scorer in the Premier League is Leandro Trossard, and he's not exactly having a crazy goal-scoring season. But ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter, because the matter of the fact is this. If they are facing these teams that are playing low and mid blocks, all they have to do is score a goal from a set piece and they can start playing their own low or mid blocks. And then they win the game. But again, despite the wins, Arsenal's attackers are still not putting up great numbers because of the low blocks they have to face. But it's not just Arsenal Arsenal, it's the other big teams as well. Now, I'm sure you'll notice that when you look at the top scorers in the Premier League, only one of these players, Haaland, plays for a traditional top 6 side. I know Semenyo now plays for City, but all of these goals came at Bournemouth. This almost never happens. Players at the top teams are scoring less than the players at the bottom teams. Now, why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. It's something called rubber banding.
We're gonna ban for ban. We're gonna aim for M.
Now, let me be clear. Despite the fact that most teams are now playing like prime Getafe, I should also say that teams do not do this in every single match. Now, teams around the league will usually deploy these low block, mid block, whatever tactics against the top 6 teams, but they won't do it against other teams at the bottom because against those teams, they feel more compelled to attack, which means their defenses are more open. And this is where rubber banding comes in. Now, what exactly is rubber banding?
It's actually a term used in gaming. In video games, the term rubber banding is used in a lot of different ways. There's the rubber banding term in terms of a lag. There's a term when your player gets snapped back to a position that he wasn't before. But I'm going to be using this one today.
Well, you've played Mario Kart before, right? You've never played Mario? Mario Kart is simple. It's a race, and let's say there's like, 12 drivers. During the race, you can collect one of these mystery boxes. Now, mystery boxes will give you one of these prizes, but this is where rubber banding comes in. The prizes are not random. They're based on where you are in the race. So if you're like number 1 or number 2, or you're doing very well in the race, then you're probably gonna get one of the shit prizes like a green shell or a banana. But if you are a worse driver than James Corden and you're doing very bad in the race, let's say you're in the bottom 3 or you're dead last, then your mystery box prizes are actually gonna be better. You might get one of those stars or those bullets that take you from like 12th to 5th. That is right. In Mario Karts, you get punished for doing well and you get rewarded for doing bad. So basically, Mario Kart is like major sports in America. Another game that is similar to this is FIFA, aka Ultimate Team. Now guys, before I retired from Ultimate Team, I was putting belts to ass because I was cooking everybody, and I even managed to get to Division 2. And what was my reward for winning games and getting to Division 2? Maybe the worst pack luck in history. But then I had a homeboy who was atrocious at Ultimate Team, and he was in like Division 7. Now, how do you think I felt when I would wake up at 2 a.m. and this bum is texting me telling me that he just packed Zidane, and he's telling me that this is how his team looks now? Once again, rubber banding. You do good, you get punished. You do bad, you get rewarded. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but rubber banding is slowly taking place in football right now. So the bigger teams in football, and we'll still stay with the Premier League for this example, always have to play against low blocks, mid blocks, etc. almost every single week. Even my boy Ekatike just dropped a post on Instagram saying that his Achilles heel is a low block. These players hate it. If you are a player that plays for a top 6 team, then you basically have to fight for your life every single weekend to just create one chance. But remember what I said before, a lot of teams will play low blocks against the big teams, but not against the bottom teams. Because again, if you look at the top scorers, number 1 is of course Haaland, but then you have the oldest looking 24-year-old Thiago with 16 goals. Way too many for my boy Benzi's liking. But if you watch Thiago's goals this season, the ones that aren't penalties are the ones that he scores in transition. This is when teams don't have time to set up a low block. Hell, there's no mid block either. The defense is as open as Bonnie Blue's legs. And the reason Thiago has more clear-cut chances and plays against defenses in transition is because he plays for Brentford. Other teams are not going to try to defend as well against Brentford or against Bournemouth or against Leeds. That's why the other top scorers are Semenyo and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. This is why if I was a top 6 side, I would not sign Thiago. Yes, the dude has 16 league goals, but there is context. Why is he scoring those goals? Again, he is scoring in transition. Now, you're going to put him into a team that is constantly going up against low blocks. Is he going to be able to score that many goals again? I mean, dude, nobody is going to play a low block against Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is why Cunha was scoring for fun back when he was playing at Wolves, but the minute he moved over to Man U and going up against low blocks, he's starting to look like the "you was at the club bottoms up when I first met you" guy. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I am never going to defend him ever again. But this may also be a fair explanation as to why Pedro Neto is not playing well at Chelsea. This dude was getting so many goal contributions at Wolves, but again, a lot of these were in transition. Because why would anybody defend hard against a team like Wolves? That's like training intensely for 6 months for a boxing match against a guy that looks like this. And that is why at Chelsea, he is struggling because he's constantly going up against low blocks. And you need good IQ and you have to be a good dribbler in order to get through that. And we all know he doesn't possess that. He is the second coming of Timo Werner. Ladies and gentlemen, this is rubber banding. And for the first time ever, it is easier to score while playing for a team at the bottom than it is to score while playing for a team at the top. Now, what does this ultimately mean for football as a whole? Guys, please make sure that you like this video and comment down which rogue footballer you're honoring your like to today. I am honoring my like to a player that is better than Pele, Bethany Mead. Now, I asked you guys, with football becoming more defensive, what does it mean for the sport as a whole? Well, I'll tell you, it means the sport is becoming boring. You know, growing up, I always heard people say stuff like, oh, the Premier League is the most physical league. Woo. And I always thought it was BS because I would casually see twinks like David Silva or Bruno Fernandes just walk in and just dominate the league, right? But yeah, now at this current moment, it might even be too physical. But yeah, the matches are genuinely becoming more boring. Has anybody realized that matches between the top 6 have just dropped so drastically in quality? They used to have the energy of a UFC match, but now it has as much energy as a world championship chess match. And you know what? I'm sorry. That's actually very disrespectful towards chess. Chess is way more interesting than this crap. We really took for granted that managers like Tuchel, Conte, Klopp, Pep were casually giving us some of the best matches amongst the top 6 ever. Banger after banger after banger. Now we just have managers that have a hard-on for putting 50 players in the box at once. I haven't really enjoyed too many football matches this season, but there are 2 matches that were absolutely amazing. The first is the Old Firm, which I always feel just never evolves as football goes on. It's just a big chaotic clusterfuck of a match. Anything can happen and the atmosphere is always amazing. The other was a Premier League match. It was Newcastle versus Leeds. I'll tell you right now, during that match, nobody was defending and the midfields had bigger holes in it than bagels. It was just both teams going back and forth and back and forth. And they were just scoring goal after goal. The atmosphere was absolutely insane. That is easily the most fun I've had watching a football match this season. I understand that teams defend harder now because they want to increase their probability of winning, but I'm sorry. Matches where teams just can't defend are much more entertaining. Dude, defense in football is cool, but I definitely care more about mavericks, goal scorers, dribblers, playmakers. I really do feel bad for the new generation of football fans because they're growing up having debates for players like Caicedo and Declan Rice. Now, these two, in my opinion, are world-class players. But guys, can we take a step back for a second? We are really sat down debating DMs. Is football that mid nowadays in terms of attackers that we have to battle amongst ourselves about who wins the ball better? Back in my day, the real midfield debates were guys like Lampard and Gerrard. But we were debating stuff like who scores more goals, who has more clutch moments, who's a better playmaker. Like, dude, I'm sorry, if this is the direction that football is going into, then we might as well go watch the WNBA. But I'm not going to be negative, okay? I want to give a shout out to the players that are actually making football look fun during this very bad, barren season. And one player that I want to give a shout out to is Jeremy Doku. Now, you might look at his numbers and think, wait, hold on. Why does he have less goal contributions than Pedro Neto? But it doesn't matter because I can watch somebody like him and I feel like I got my joy back. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is just one season, or do you think that things are going to change as football goes on? Just let me know in the comments, guys, because this is a very big topic. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Please comment down. This is such a big topic. But anyways, if you have enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe. And of course, I want to engage with you guys. I want to talk to y'all. So please check out the links in my description. Join my Discord. Join my streams on Twitch because I really want to talk to you guys. You feel me? I appreciate having y'all here. You guys are amazing. And thank you guys so much if you are joining the journey. It has been your boy, the Streets Champ. And I'm just giving you the gift of Toby World. Drink it in, man.